Rockets after beating Memphis 2 nights ago. And the third-seeded Lakers take on sixth-seeded Minnesota in the first round. Perk is back because he showed some love to the East, and now we're going to go to the left coast. We'll see the Clippers taking on Jokic and the Nuggets in what should be a pretty exciting first round, but LA, of course, hasn't made it out of the first round in the last 2 seasons. What do you expect to see in this matchup?
I expect the Clippers to come out and win in great fashion. I think they're going to win this series in 6. And look, James Harden has been the perfect player for setting the table for this team at the point guard position. And then I look at the pieces around them. Yes, Big Zubac, who I voted for his most improved player, averaging a monster double-double. And then Kawhi Leonard Jordan, looking like the best two-way player in the game. Back to his old self. Norman Powell, we know what he brings to the table, and they have one of the best coaches in the game in Ty Lue, L. They are my sleepers in the Western Conference to make it to the NBA Finals. And I think people are not sleeping on them anymore because how they look. And you got to also realize underrated guy that they have on the perimeter is Chris Dunn, a guy that has bought into his role defensively that I think elevates this team even more.
Yeah, it's really hard to be a sleeper when you're 18-3 in your last 21 games and running an 8-game win streak into game 1 of the postseason. I, of course, asked you earlier, right, who in the East the Celtics' biggest threat would be. So I'm going to give the same treatment to the #1 seed in the West. Who do you think OKC should be having nightmares about?
Well, it's the field. It's the field, to be honest with you. I think I still have Oklahoma City going to the NBA Finals, but it's close. I strongly believe, El, that this is about to be the best playoffs that we've seen in the last 5 to 6 years, especially in the West. Think about the first round matchup that we're going to see between the Lakers and Minnesota. I believe that's going 7. We got Denver and Clippers. That's going 6. Rockets and Golden State, I believe that's going 7 games. So again, at any given moment, as we've seen, they have the superstars that could get hot. Luka could be the best player in the series. LeBron can. SGA can. There's so many variables, so many superstar players that we go see some teams getting upset, and it's the field.
Wow, I'm going to say that the field is the sleeper pick because the Thunder outscored their opponents by almost 13 points per game, which was the best points per game differential in a season in history. I'm just saying that probably. Yeah, well, I love you, Perk, but do you have a bet? Let's go to the NBA. You know the saying, if you can't stand the heat, it's probably because you're a Bulls fan. For the 3rd consecutive season, Miami in Chicago's season in the play-in tournament, setting up a win-and-in game tomorrow in Atlanta with the Hawks, who got boat raced by the Magic on Tuesday. The winner of Miami and Atlanta will fill out the East bracket that you're looking at right now and go on to face the top-seeded Cavaliers in the first round. Meanwhile, the Knicks getting ready to host the Pistons in Detroit's first playoff appearance since 2019. The champ is here. Perk. Put him in the dirt. Kendrick Perkins is here. Finally, Perk, we get a healthy Knicks team in the postseason, but as you know, they cannot get out of semis purgatory. At what point is Tibbs' seat a little hot?
Well, it's hot right now. It's hot right now. And let me say this. I'm not one of them ones that's peeing in the same swimming pool as everybody else thinking that the Detroit Pistons are going to beat the New York Knicks in this series. The Knicks are going to win this in 6. But that means absolutely nothing because you didn't go out and get Mikal Bridges and give up 5 first-round picks to bring him in. You didn't make a big trade to get Karl Anthony Towns to bring him in and say, you know what, we're just going to make it to the 2nd round again like we did last season. No, you have to get to the conference finals, minimum. Our Tom Thibodeau job is on the line. And I love Tom Thibodeau. I won the championship with him in 2008. But you got OG Anunoby. He's playing at a high level. Big Body Brunson is back. He's looking like he's getting his step back again. Mitchell Robinson is healthy. You have 0 excuses to get to the conference finals except for Boston Celtics are in your way, which, by the way, the New York Knicks are on record stating that they were making moves to match up and look at Boston eye to eye. Okay. They made those moves this offseason. Let's see what happens.
But just to be clear, you're not peeing in everybody else's pool because you're peeing in your own pool, or you're just not peeing in the pool at all?
No, I'm not a little bit of both, but I'm not peeing in the same pool.
Thank
like
you.
everybody
Ocean is fair game. Pool, keep that to yourself. You mentioned Boston, those reigning champs, and they're of course looking to go back-to-back. They'll open up the playoffs with the Magic. But give me who you think is the biggest threat to the C's.
It's the Cavs. It's the Cavs. They're the biggest threat. They got the depth. Kenny Atkinson has done an outstanding job of unlocking Evan Mobley. I believe after Giannis Antetokounmpo and Anthony Davis, he's the second best power forward in the game. And then they added DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline. I thought that was the piece that they were missing, the 3-and-D guy. They got the depth in a guy like Max Strus and Ty Jerome. He was up for Sixth Man of the Year. Veteran leadership out of Tristan Thompson. And they have a closer in Donovan Mitchell. So they're the team that's built now for us to look the Celtics in the eye to eye, and I feel like the biggest threat to them in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, something that bodes really well for Cleveland. They're good in clutch time games, which we define as games within 5 points with 5 minutes or less in them. They've got 26 clutch time wins this season. That's tied for the most of any team. But will Ja Morant? Because the Grizzlies lost their play-in game to the Warriors on Tuesday night, and adding injury to insult, we saw Ja Morant roll his ankle. And while he was able to return, there are questions about his effectiveness with their season on the line tomorrow against Dallas and their final chance to make the NBA playoff field. For more on his availability, we bring in our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania. Shams, we know Ja did finish that game, but what can you tell us about his status for tomorrow night?
Officially, Ja Morant is questionable. He's a game-time decision to play in Friday's game against the Dallas Mavericks, but I'm told the intention for Ja Morant is to try to go out there and play. He has had a significant amount of swelling over the last 24 hours in that ankle. My understanding is he's had around-the-clock treatment on that sprained ankle since suffering the injury. It was really a remarkable effort, El. He never went back once to the locker room after suffering what looked like a nasty turn of the ankle. He stayed on the sideline. He stayed in the tunnel area. Even at one point took anti-inflammatory pills to get back on the court. He did. We'll see if he plays on Friday. He's going to do everything in his power to play.
And boy, do they need him, because when it comes to play-in games, Ja rules. 30 points per game in his 3 career play-in tournaments. You can boo me later, Shams. Meanwhile, in the East, Damian Lillard, he's been dealing with a blood clot since last month. The Bucks take on the Pacers in round 1 on Saturday. So what's the latest with Dame Dalla?
3.5 weeks after the diagnosis of a blood clot in his right calf, I'm told he has been cleared from the blood clot itself. He's off the blood thinning medication. He has resumed full basketball activities, full contact. He is out though, El, for game 1 against the Pacers on Saturday, but he is now on the return path. He's going to ramp up over the next several days to see when he could make his return. Obviously, they have game 2 and game 3 of this series over the next week or so. But why is this possible? How, after just 3.5 weeks? This is unprecedented, El. This has never been done for an athlete. It typically takes several months for recovery. Early detection, though, played a big part in this. Early medication. I'm told he got on medication, the blood thinning medication, even before the formal diagnosis. So he's now able to get on the court potentially as soon as next week.
Well, it's great to hear, because while he was sidelined for Milwaukee's final 14 games of the regular season, he was humming before that, averaging 24.9 points and 7 assists before he had to sit out. Shams Charania with the latest around the NBA. State has canceled.
Xin chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm bài. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là hạt dương. Mọi người, hôm nay tiêu đề của mình sẽ có là hạt bí. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nha. Tí từ. Đầu tiên là mình sẽ màu hồng. Mọi người, đây là màu hồng nhé. Mọi người đây này, tiếp tục sẽ là màu xanh dương.